This is Helen
sorry. If you go, can you go back? Sorry, to CPD for a second. If you can go back. My question again is it's a question. I don't know if you about your feeling. I know the numbers are coming from our colleagues, but if you think about the year to date versus year to go, the evolution is super significant. Do you believe in those numbers? The forecast was built on the base of our inputs, or it's more rather a dream from GMs, and you can expect that later on it will be still corrected. What is your feeling, guys? For CPD, the evolution year to go is really big.
For CPD, actually the sales trend is a bit, lower than the last version, but we are currently. Actually, we have some, I think, the sales risk for the OAP as well, because in the CPD, we dropped the sales for the OAP, L'Oréal Paris, and we increased for 1 million in the 3CE. But still, we think there's a sales risk for the OAP, so we are not sure that we can keep this trend. But at this moment, we just lower the 1 billion into the sales.
Okay, then we all agree that there is a potential risk there. I understand.
Yeah, but it's mostly from L'Oréal Paris.
Yes, right.
So 3C is growing, and then they may have some opportunity in YTD, which they did not share at all in the trend.
Okay.
In LDB, because we uptrended a lot in T03, in T05 it's say flat versus T03. And PPD as well, it's increasing a lot versus last year in D2C, but flat versus T03.
So PPD, LPP is really struggling, LPP, while Kérastase, they open Olive Young and Coupang. So Kérastase retail business is getting much better than LPP, but most of the drops comes from the LPP, L'Oréal Professional Paris, health salon business.
Understand.
So by signature, as Eunjung mentioned, that Kérastase is increasing a lot, and also in LDB double digits. And Prada here is because of a new launch last year.
Okay.
Then moving on to
so this is a snapshot as of April. So the left side is YTD April. Just very quickly, service rate is good, and forecast accuracy is lower than last year. But it's improved a lot in April itself. But the YTD is behind. The main reason is we have a higher bias, especially the double-digit bias, both in the CPD and PPD, and then LUX is getting lower. But however, our ambition is still to reach 60% at company level, and there's a lot of things to do in year to go. And also is good. Yes.
My question is because this is why we discussed year to go. You think that still it's overstated a bit, and probably CPD is still the one who is driving the most the number, right? So you have 13.6% on bias. That's significant under sales, right? So if you didn't correct the forecast moving forward too much, because there's just a slight drop versus what you have so far, the risk is that you will not be able to improve much, no?
Of course, we reflect this downtrend in our coming forecast. Even we cannot meet, maybe our CPD is quite challenging, but other division like the LUX is definitely improving a lot. So in April, it was 60%.
yes, right?
April was quite high. In forecast,
55%. But bias only 1.8%.
Yeah, bias was 1.8%. So we react quickly to the market for LUX, but CPD will do more in a coming forecast meeting in June.
And the discussion for LUX are helping on the global and the zone level. I mean, do you have more support from your local GM on LUX now in terms of forecast processes?
We have a lot of program to motivate all the stakeholders. So the figure, the target is shared among the marketing and commercial and the finance and as well as the supply chain, and also Summer is supporting a lot to this program.
It's okay, meaning that everyone is okay, good. That's good news. Okay, very clear. Very clear.
Okay, and then the ATP is improving. It's still behind the target, but it has improved a lot since last year. And the inventory in value in days is lower compared to last year, but we have to reduce further to the December. And then bed stock is lower than last year, but it's still much behind the target. However, good news is that slow moving is increased, but the obsolete has decreased a lot. So E&O, we have a less impact. And then finished goods IQ is 81% at company level. So overdue, we have some overdue from Stellanda International that has to be fixed by August. And then the cost we will cover in the coming slides. Cost-wise, we are not very good.
Then on the stock levels, do you think we can still move a bit better in terms of value? I mean, why I'm asking, because there's a big push from the group now. So far, we are fighting back a bit to not to get the target, because they're asking the whole on the group level, they're asking to cut the value of the stock by 5% as a flat rate. We are trying to push back. For us, it's not possible that every market we just cut 5%. But I'm just openly asking you, there will be a challenge on the stock value. So I question if we can still improve it a bit moving forward. I see that you are putting 131 days for the cover versus the budget of 126. It's 5 days extra. Question if we can do something.
Our challenge is that the orders go live middle of November. So we are pre-building the stock before October. So if we sell as we plan, then we may not have much impact. But if not, then we may land higher than what we think. So there's some risk because of the orders. In normal situation, we can adjust, but we cannot commit right now.
Okay, that's a fair argument. To be honest, it's a fair argument. I understand.
Okay, so we go next slide. So this is
could you go to the last slide about the cost? So I saw the big increase in the Lux and the PPD versus last year, like 6.14% in Lux and 8.55 in the PPD. That seems a lot of increase in the E&O.
E&O is lower.
It's lower, sorry. It's lower.
Yeah.
And the physical distribution cost is increasing in Lux.
But this is others, right? This is others element, and in other logistics is also others. No, why you have
other logistics is almost stay the same. The total level is the other logistic cost
versus budget. I'm talking versus budget. You have 0.7 versus 0.52.
I think the SRA05, I think there's a typo. It has to be the same. No big issue. And it's always 0.5 or 0.51. No big issue.
Meaning that there's the correction needs to be done. The problem we have physical distribution, right? If you think about it,
Physical distribution, yes. The ODS and then what cost unit is lower than the budget. That is also reason why. But the ODS is the main driver.
But overall, total cost, you are still better than last year, right?
Better than last year. Yeah, but better than last year. But on year is not. It's a hidden year, but it's higher than last year YTD. April.
Okay, understand. Yeah. Sure. I'm not saying, yeah, wait.
Okay, so we go. So this is all the projects. So we have reflected in our T05, those marked in green. So this is given by Helen.
Yes.
Then those no colored one is we haven't reflected yet in our T09. We'll do maybe 09 and 09 or be 6. The yellow, we have some Yellow is, we have some debate, so we can cover in coming slides. Okay. This one is the same, so no change from SI03. So the stock we may have risk because of ODS, and the ENO is the same. And then also 3CIDC is pushing our stock slope to us, so it will impact. We already reflected in 05 because it's confirmed one. And then PD cost, as you said, there's some classification or rental cost or the investment. And the PD cost is not confirmed yet, whether we outsource labor to 3PL. And then AR, if finally we grade the customer of Starganda International do not pay us, we have to write off some of them. The inbound, we have opportunity. So this partial opportunity has reflected in the T05. Okay.
For me, one more point, maybe. I mean, we'll discuss it later with Harry on the customer first. I think maybe it's too late now to have any benefits this year, but I think there are some options there. If we are played smartly, maybe we can have a bit of a PD impact in a positive way on customers.
Definitely. So this after the meeting yesterday, I shared this data to Sang-Son and Jiyoung, our customer care manager, and then we realized that there are a lot of urgent orders happening in Lux division. In Lux, urgent because there's a regular orders. The order value per order, the order value per order is really high, like 10,000 euro. But when it comes to the urgent order, like out of stock, and we have to ship out to the 200 stores, and then another day another urgent order, where we have to really there's opportunity to optimize these urgent orders. So definitely, thanks to all the analysis, we will deep dive how much we can optimize. We can cut this urgent order by half, or we can reduce by 80%. We will see. So we just started working on it from since.
One comment on this one, and to be honest, I don't have an answer, but we have a question on the zone level. How we should what does it mean urgent order? Because every market have a different definition or no definition at all. You know, people are just considering there is a problem, we do urgent order, but there is not like a rule to say we process or we wait. You know, for the normal. I don't have an answer because everyone has a bit different approach, but we need to define it. I think that people will know.
We have order schedule for each counter department store, like it's big department store. There's 2 times per week. It's a fixed schedule, like every Monday and Wednesday. It's a small counter. We only proceed orders only once. So we can we can optimize the delivery because it's already scheduled. When it comes to out of stock, if we cannot add these products in the regular order, then we have to send these out of stock shortage items to all counters. For example, Lancome for 60 counters, small units, but in a box.
Yes.
So realize that there's no control at all of urgent orders. And then also launch items, it's not regular orders. So we have to also ship out only the launch item to every counters. So we can optimize this urgent order. We can harmonize all the urgent orders. So there's definitely opportunities, but the saving is only the transportation. I calculate very quickly. It could be like 100 million. 100 K euros. So about 100K euros in transportation. It's not.
But it's still, you know, I think it's not only transportation, but also the workload for the customer care. If we reduce frequency, if we have you have less matching because you will cut, let's say, the frequency, meaning that there will be less workload on the order to cash side. So it's also good. There's like many people who should benefit from smarter management of the orders. So it's maybe it will be not meaningful in terms of money, but in terms of workload, there should be improvement.
But we haven't reflected yet in PD, but we want to keep this kind of buffer for.
Yeah, that's okay. For me, you know, later on you calculate and see what you can get. It's I think the important is direction to think about it. You know.
But other channels like the CPD, LDB, is quite okay. But it's a big customer like Olivia, we don't have such processes. And then for hair salons, unlike in other markets, we distribute to the 5,000 customers. So it is not a wholesaler model or distributor model. It's all individual hair salons. And then we already have the MOQ, the minimum order value. So PPD may not have a huge opportunity, but department store logs, we definitely have opportunity.
Something I need to revise.
Maybe you even see the rounding, because sometimes again you will see the details of your orders, but maybe I don't know, you have a one layer and the box instead of one layer, or you have a one layer minus the box, meaning that for the picking is more complex instead of just rounding fully to layer or a pallet or full box. So this can also help.
Yes, Jakub, you are right.
Right, we need to see. I mean, it's for you, Samsung, to help you. At the end, if the customer care teams can help with the rounding, it's always better. So you'll be faster in preparation and cheaper.
After this meeting, we will introduce the approach to you because the department store will have a very different approach versus B2B, because we can propose the orders for the department store in the retail in the boutique. But on the other side, for the B2B, it would require some agreement with our customer, which require the collaboration with e-commerce. So it will be different.
So there's a rounding. Rounding is already pre-placed because the ARS, the orders being generated by the regular orders being generated by our retail supply chain, that they round it. So rounding is already there. Of course, we cannot round the C classes because this round may cover 12 days of the counter stock. For A and B classes, we optimize the picking.
Okay.
Cool.
And so Jakub and Unjo, this is external delivery for Lux division urgent order. Impact not only transportation but also is our B2B labor cost, because it's the cost the reason of is overtime work or additional is work.
Okay, so there's a lot of
Good. I mean, opportunities, right? It's good news. Good news.
And the outsourcing neighbor e-commerce to 3PL, that was triggered by ODEX as well as a BCP, or for any other reasons?
Because this, if we outsource neighbor, then it's 24/7 hours delivery. So we can have more quick commerce, kind of a quick commerce. They can deliver even within the day, 6 hours, something like that. But we have to pay more cost in PD. So it's under discussion with the finance and division, whether we pay more and then gaining our revenue, or if there's no revenue increase, then why not pay more? So there's some discussion. It's not only for the BCP, but it's the strategic decision moving to the 3PL for neighbor.
Okay.
Okay.
So here we have inventory. Allocate total overview. We have a 65 billion, slightly less than last trend, and days are 131. 2 days increase versus last trend. From CPD, it's going to be explained in later deck. To Lux.
Here is a Lux inventory. Our ending inventory value is 47.7 billion won with minus 0.6% euro compared to last year. And a decrease of stock value compared to SRI03, considering 1% of CNS and CSV value decreased versus the last trend. And invoice value is plus 1% compared to last year due to twice the price increase wave in this year. And our ending stock coverage is 143 days, which is keep the SRI03 last trend. Also, it is a decrease of 7 days compared to last year. We plan to accelerate better stock depletion by 2.2 billion won until December. It will reduce our 7 days of stock days, but it's not too easy because we have only limited PA budget, promotional allowance budget, for the clearance channel due to strictly gross margin managed by controlling and CGO team in Lux division level. So it is quite challenging, but I'll explain in next slide. So, which means our QI target will be decreasing. Trend is decreased by 2%, -2% versus the last trend, 84% to 82%.
Questions? No? It's okay.
And that's all.
CPD, okay, for CPD, CPD total inventory value, the December end is keep same as the trend 03. So May, the PVS change reflected for the L'Oréal Paris, -5%, and for the 3CE, the +3%. However, the inventory value is the same as for the coverage days, actually. In CPD total, 78.5 days, which is +7.5 days versus T03, is coming from the 3CE. So coming for the 3CE, 10 days plus versus the T03, because we have we reflected the liability stock from Korea IDC, so it impacts our coverage days. And so for the QI, from the Q3, we will get the liability stock from the Korean IDC, and we'll deplete the stock within the year. But still, we have some, the leftover for the liability stock at the end of December. So we think that our QI target should be -2% versus the last trend.
I have just a question about the push of 3C stock. When you get it, when you are able to start depleting it, because let's say extra stock, I understand the problem, but now if you are able to utilize it now, we are able to sell it or not? Why we are not trying to make a plan, because we have still a couple of months to go, right? Can we do something about it?
So many of them are actually cushion items. And then the stock MSL is pushing us is also the slow movers in our DC as well. So, and then those cushion is not selling very well. Even we put in the sustainability boxes for the employee, but the unit itself, the stock volume itself is huge, like almost 100,000 won. 10만 개 정도 되잖아. 100,000 units, 100,000 units. So it's quite challenging to deplete before the month end. Both the stock in our DC and then in IDC.
No, I understand that you cannot do it in one shot, but we still, what I'm trying to say is still a couple of months to go. So
we just open 3C in our outlets, 3 outlets. And then we also next month, and then we did family sales for 3CE, first time with the L'Oréal Korea, but the unit itself is too high to deplete. And then also this month we have to give away all the Maybelline leftovers to employees.
Okay.
So that's why.
Just a question, sorry. Just apart from 3CE, the other assumption no change, right? So 3CE plus 10 days versus T03 and total plus 7.5. For the other brand, there's no change.
The other brands, you mean other divisions?
CPD.
Yes, it's the L'Oréal Paris and 3CE only.
Okay.
It's a total at the division and 78.5 days.
Okay.
In LDB, it's only division. Yes.
So talking about LDB, the projected inventory value is really landing around 80 million, so 7,995, which is 90% evolution versus last year, and slightly lower than T03 and plus 2% higher than budget.
So we aim to maintain the stock coverage as 139 days to keep the budget. At the same time, we're achieving QI 93.4%, which is 1% increase from T03. Considering our LDB division strong growth, 28% evolution, so stock value is aligned with this growth as 19% increase versus last year.
Very clear. Good. Mm-hmm.
Yes, for the PPD, our ending inventory value stands at the 2.7 billion, representing plus 11% increase compared to the last year, and a slightly 1% decrease compared to the Tier 3. Even the CSV minus 3% decrease in Tier 5. Main reason of keep 2.7 billion under the negative in CSV is Q1 to next year Q1 CSV increment over 10%, and to avoid OS in January, especially for the D2C channels. And the special chart is located in the left side. And we've seen a significant increment in the D2C channels with 31% growth versus last year. This translated to a net sales increase from the 85 billion to the 11. And our sourcing footprint has also shifted with a 5% increase in Europe sourcing compared to the last year. The Europe now represents 74% of our sourcing, while the China contributes to 25% only. This strategic shift aims to optimize our supply chains and market demands. So we keep the stock level, and stock cover days is also kept with Tier 3, and the bad stock value is a little bit increased, almost 10 million, due to the OS impact. And the QI is, according to this, QI is decreased minus 1%. Like
one question. It's not only to PPD,
yes,
but to all divisions. In terms of your stock strategy, when you calculate your safety stock, what is the process of that? It's not. I'm not challenging. Just trying to understand if you have one frame for all the divisions, how to calculate the safety stock and overall your target cover, or it depends by the planner. How it's done today?
There's some principles. So there's the frame. So we are using ABC and the XYZ. So regularly we assess ABC and XYZ, and then depending on the brand within this frame, they adjust the safety stock. Just for your information, so I don't remember exactly. So what is the Lux safety stock policy? XYZ, ABC.
We are following ABC and sourcing, US sourcing and Japan sourcing and France sourcing. So we choose the
stock safety stock for A class.
A class is quite 1 month, and the B class is only 1 week, and C class is no safety stock.
So I think other divisions of max is 30 days, right? And it's a really hero product. Sometimes you may increase even further, more than 30 days. Yeah, if you have buyers always active, right? So I think it's between the A class is 30 days, just a very simple policy. But if it's selling more, always then they put a higher safety, like 45 up to
For hero and with higher bias and higher lead time deviation product, we are calculating plus around 2 weeks more on top of the 30 days.
30 days. And then if it's a B class is 15 weeks, and then it's a C class, there's no safety stock.
But for reference, Lux, so we don't manage any safety stock in this moment because sales is not good.
So for Lux, they removed all the safety.
Yes.
After these buyers. It's depending on the situation, it's a bit flexible.
No, I'm asking you. You saw yesterday in the presentation that on the, let's say, the construction, the frame for the stock management, I think every country is doing a bit their own way. Without frames. So what we try to do, I'm not saying we'll push you in this or that direction, but we'll try to organize some workshops all together to define the rules which can help us to optimize in the future. Maybe we have a tool, that's another story, but at least to have a common understanding what is the recommended way of working as a frame. And then, of course, the calculation will be done country by country. This will be with different numbers, but at least to have the one unified way of approaching the calculation. Because everyone has a bit different rules. I just noticed in our discussions that country by country, some people are doing this, some people are doing that. It's not really somehow coordinated, let's say. I'm not saying what we are doing is wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying it would be good to have a bit of workshop altogether to improve, if we can, to optimize a bit the methodology behind it.
Yes, and also in reality, when we validate all this supply calculation, we also refer to the SIT stock. If we have a huge FI stock, then even we just not only the safety stock, we just cancel the orders sometimes. So after calculating the supply needs, there's another adjustment referring to the SIT. That's a quite sophisticated process.
Sure. Understand.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And moving on to the supply chain cost. This is an overview of the T05 supply chain total cost. As mentioned earlier, we are dropping the 2% in CNS versus last trend, and then 1% in CNS, and then 2% in units. And cost-wise, we are keeping the split supply chain cost versus last trend. And we are decreasing a lot in PD due to the unit drop, especially in D2C, which is covering the risk capturing in slope E&O line. So as you can see, it's offset in the total. So cost per unit is slightly increasing due to the unit decrease. And percentage CNS, we are staying at 6.4.
And can you tell me why D2C orders are increasing overall, but the units is dropping, right? Because D2C units is dropping, right? The total units are less, but the cost, wait a second, is increasing, right? It's increasing quite significantly. It's like 15% change. What is happening? Why D2C is more expensive?
Versus because
absolute value of D2C is increasing year on year and between the trends.
Yeah.
And then if you look on the unit cost, it's also increasing.
Yes.
Percentage-wise, it's also increasing versus last trend. So there's like something happening on D2C.
Our fixed cost is like split in allocation is split like half and half to B2B and D2C. But D2C unit is dropping a lot, like 6 or 7%. So that's why you can see the CPU increase in D2C line.
Okay, you're saying that you have a change between the allocation, meaning that the weight of D2C is becoming bigger. That's why you're allocating more costs. What you're saying, right?
When compared to last year, Minji and Samson-님, so the B2B is decreasing while D2C is increasing. Whether we have more freight
versus last year, it's because in actual 24 restated, we have a 3CE merge, but last year's 3CE channel allocation is based on CNS, not by activity. So that's why in restated actual 24, D2C is like under.
Okay. You have to stay. I understand that, but between the SRI03 and SRI05, if you look into the numbers, you have less units on D2C, slightly less units on B2B between SRI03, 05, but then the cost, B2B is dropping, let's say B2B is dropping from 10 million to 9, at nearly 10% drop, and then D2C is increasing from 11.2 to 11.8. So I'm just wondering what is the reason, because you have less units on D2C, but still the costs are getting higher. And then the cost per unit also are getting higher. What's the change?
Where the 03 was wrong?
I think it was we can see this like in PD slide. Yeah, there is like about the 25 to T03 and T05. So
I mean, just between the B2B and only are looking at the D2C PD cost.
Yeah.
So it's fluctuating. Even between 03, 04, 05. whether allocation has changed, allocation key has changed.
Yes, I think, I think we need to look at this number, but not just the overview.
Okay.
I think I put it wrong number in the cost summary. We can see, yeah. Because here you can see, B2B, 5%, 6%. The allocation is similar to,
The previous number is wrong, is what you're saying?
yeah,
03 number was wrongly input because here the 03 is
overview, yeah.
03 D2C is 3,339. Okay, but in previous slide it was 3,000
Yes,
something.
It's wrong. Okay, there's the error. And which number is correct?
Then let's first go to
Just
inbound.
meaning that this slide, the cost summary is wrong, is what you are saying?
Yeah, this one is wrong.
The slide is wrong. Okay, better not to show them.
The budget is in line, the evolution is in line.
The total is correct, only the split B2B
Yes,
and
yes,
D2C
all
were
numbers
not
are
correct in the 03 in this slide.
And the only reason is others, or there's some other reasons? Okay, I mean, we'll see in the bridge. Okay, sorry, let's go to the bridge.
Wait, I have a question on the other logistic costs. I didn't realize during the budget time that your people costs increased by 13%. Is
Yes,
that true?
it's because of
Because
the,
it's more than the,
yeah, it's because of the SG&A, the merge versus last year. We restated, but still one headcount is restated. So the gap is like more 3 to 4 headcount versus last year.
Meaning that
So-
this is 3C effects. What they are saying is because of the merge, we have a higher OTC, right?
Sorry?
My question from Helen, between 2024 and 2025, it's not
Yeah.
comparable because 2024 is not fully restated with 3C, right? That's what they are saying?
Yeah. So the merge was like SG&A 그때 3-4명 계시죠?
But here 2024 is restated, the
Only one
Starlanda
headcount.
is already,
Only one headcount is restated.
but this is including us, all the Starlanda employees.
Yes.
Full year.
Yeah, but only one headcount is included in restated in SG&A. So
okay.
Meaning that we have some headcount which is not restated, they are missing in 2024?
yeah,
How many people?
only one in 24 restated
Only one included versus how many?
versus let me get back to you.
And also, I remember in direct logistics costs, the Atradius premium, they introduced the premium a lot.
Yeah,
That also impact in this line.
that's the T05 versus budget. Yes.
Would be great if we can have after the meeting a bit more explanation just to understand the number better when we get the question, okay? Because it's true, it's the biggest increase is this line.
Yeah. Okay.
Just to understand, I mean, you have a probably good reason. Just let's make sure that we understand the number, okay?
Okay, this is inbound cost. Just a moment.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, let's look at the YTD of the inbound costs of the left side of the table. The inbound cost until April decreased by about -1% compared to last year. FG imported unit decreased by -14% compared to last year, so the decrease should be larger, but the tariff increased by about 17% increase compared to last year. Because the LD product import unit from Japan increased by about 20% compared to last year. The tariff increase cost by about 200 million Korea won as a result. If this trend continues until SRA09, it will be reflected in the budget. We are currently working with the Lilian team and the Cosmello to create the process, and the saving amount has been reflected in SRA09. And
Sorry, I understood. You mean you are confident in the process to be able to get back the money from the customs or not? Just you reflected it in already? Sorry, I didn't understand.
We are check about the documentation, some purchase order documentation, invoice, and some packing list, and with the Cosmello, and then we are add something to improve the to Korea Customs. And then
Can we help you somehow, Lilian? What we can do to help the Korean team to make sure that we get money back?
Yeah. Okay. So for this topic, basically, the principle is we cannot get the money back, but it's just to duty exemption. So that's why what I understand from Yunjin discussion that they put 200 million won in SR05, expected to start this process in September, right, Yunjin?
Right.
Okay, so right now it's discussing with Cosmela about the whole process and documentation. It's not a blocking point, but the process is very complicated because it's involved PCI. Because it's a lax process, invoice is issued from DMI. So that make the process more complicated. So anyway, we are still chasing after the Cosmela side to see how they can support the invoice to PCI and PCI invoice to Korea to prove this product is traceable. So again, this is not the money back; it is exemption.
Yeah, no, I understand. The faster we start, the better for us.
Exactly.
My question is somehow, can we help somehow to support the Korean team more? I know, can we do something?
Yes, we are already organized a call with Cosmela because, as I said, there is a DMI process, so some of the confidential information. So at this moment, we cannot disclose the pricing to Korea team, but we are working on that. I will update you when I'm back.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Questions to Yunjun, as I just listened to your explanation, you said there is a tariff increase?
Year to date.
It's the same. It's the same, 6.5%.
Just he's saying that we are paying more duties because of the volume from Japan.
The volume is increased 20%.
Okay.
The tariff rate is the same, 6.5%.
Okay.
Okay, I will explain the SRA 09 on the right side of the table. The
05.
05. Not 09. Oh, sorry. Okay.
So we can do 09. It's okay. Let's do 09.
Yeah. The invoice unit is different from LK total invoice unit. This was excluded from last year's and this year's invoice unit of 3CE. In the case of the 3CE, domestic product is still greater and import costs are not large. So this quantity was also excluded. Look at the excluded invoice unit. It is expected to decrease by about minus 0.5% compared to last year. The cost is about 43 million Korea won decreased. The Ocean Global tender reduction cost was reflected in the same way as SRI 03. This time, LK is expected to decrease by about minus 4.5% compared to last year through rail service tender, and the cost is about 15 million Korea won. However, due to the decrease in air use, rail service use is increased this year, and the increase of about 20%. The cost is about 63 million Korean won was reflected. As explained earlier, the tariff will be applied from September by implementing the re-imported exception. Then it is expected that about 200 million Korean won will be reduced over 4 months, and this was reflected in SRI 05. The label reflects the same figure as a budget and the SRI 03. the cost saving through auto labor has reached about 70 million Korea won by April. Overall, the inbound costs have decreased by about -4% compared to last year and are reflected in SLA05.
That's good news. Well done. Well done. A lot of initiative. Thank you for sharing. Good news.
And why the transportation cost increased versus trend 3? Due to the transportation mode change to rail?
Rail, yeah.
So between trend 5 and trend 3, you have POV units, import units increase slightly, but the transportation cost and labeling cost increased. Then transportation costs because of the more rail use, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Last year, we are using the 300 million Korea won for rail service. This year, we are forecasting the increase the 20%. So I reflected 63 million Korea won reflected.
For labeling, why you are increasing versus the trend 3?
I think usually what the Helen asking is versus trend 3. It's not versus.
He knows.
Yeah, okay.
He knows.
So we try to understand in the trend 3 and trend 5, there is compared to trend 3, 05 has overall increase.
116 million.
03, the invoice unit is -3% compared to last year, excluding the 3CE. Now is -5%. LK total invoice unit is +4%.
You have the SI03 imported units?
Yeah, we have.
It's 40 million. It's 40 million because trend 5 was 41.6, increased by 0.6 versus trend 3. So trend 3 should be 40 million.
Versus okay.
41, right? 41, this is 41.6.
This is trend 5. So trend 3 should be 40 million because the variance is 0.6 million. The right.
Exactly, you have 41.6 now with the variance 0.6, meaning that it's 41, not 40, right? 41.
Oh, you're right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, but still the labeling cost increase. This is because of the unit increase. Yeah. Okay. Slight.
You have labor cost increase. You put 4.4% on labor cost.
But this is this assumption was already in budget and in trend 3, the labor, the inflation.
So Ellen, for the labeling, because actually the most complex label is actually from LDB, because we have to hide many problematic words. So if we have more sales in LDB, then actually we have to increase the labeling cost. So the loss is very simple, just putting one label, the makeup, but for the LDB is up to 8 labels per SKU. I think the reason why.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
It's PD.
Okay, as you know, we reduce cost compared to budget is 800 million won. Is compared to SLI03 is 500 million Korean won. This is mainly from channel mix unit decrease, especially D2C, and cost per unit and cost per CNS wise is SLI03 and SLI05 is almost flat, all channel. Yeah, okay. So we don't have any critical issue here. And next slide.
I have a question, just one question if I may, because all the additional costs for others in terms of, let's say, extra labor, your BCP plan, etc. It's not yet there, or there is something
in SLI03, including.
It's already included from the budget and then 03 and then in 05 too.
Okay. And what I mean, what was, when you say it's included, what assumption did you take with the partners that they will help us for how much time?
So do you have a slide for this ODS cost? Can help explain. 선생님, 넥스 슬라이드가 화면에 있지 않아요?
ODS slide?
어떤 어썸션으로
That's what I'm asking about the additional cost of ODS. What is included? Because you said it's included, but I'm wondering which part is there, what we included for your BCP, etc. It's all in. I'm wondering what is your assumption for how long you have a partner to help you? What is the assumption in your cost?
I can send you the breakdown of ODS costs we put in T05. We have a 2 billion Korea won of ODS costs in T05, and 1.2 billion is from the global recharge, and another 0.7 is from the PP costs, including the PM, BE, and IT recharge, and also the
local cost.
But this is project cost. I understand. It's okay. My question is about additional cost, which will appear when we go live because we have a lower productivity, because we have some BCP with an external part.
Ramp-up cost?
Yes.
Yeah, it's ramp-up cost 200 million won, including this budget.
Yeah, within the 2 billion.
Yeah.
200. You think it's enough? I don't know. Just asking because it seems not so much, no?
Yeah. So Jakub, you are right. It's quite challenging though. This cost, ramp-up cost.
I'm just wondering because I think we should put some. I mean, you need to estimate, but I think there will be some extra cost, right? It's better to anticipate and put in the trend.
So we are not hiring new resources. So we will do the shift. So, and because it turned out that hiring new people, we have to start hiring from September, like October, and then it's not easy to hire new people. So we will use our existing manpower as much as possible by shifting to and then also the 2 million won, including all the OT extra payment. Because they have to work during the weekend, so we have to pay 1.5%. That is included. And also, we will outsource e-retailers to L Solution 3PL. That is also cost is included.
So it's included.
We can send you 2 million, the breakdown 2 million.
Okay.
Yeah, but as
it's not 2 million, 200 million.
200, sorry. So 200 million. First, this is to optimize the budget because we don't have any room to increase more. But as I said in the beginning, if we can optimize the number of orders from department store, then we can have some saving. And we can.
Okay, understand. But okay, you have a bit of buffer there for Odyssey part, and then we think if there will be extra cost, we compensate with the other product. Okay, understand.
Trade-off.
Okay. Clear.
Okay. Next page. This is overall is bridge from SLI budget last year budget SLI 05 almost same as is SLI 03. Yeah, this is also about transportation cost. Big is saving from not saving is channel mix because of D2C unit decrease is -9%. That is why it's 600 million won is minus. This is volume mix, channel mix. Yeah.
So is E&O overview. As explained, we are increasing almost 0.4 billion versus last trend. As you can see, the increase is in clearance mostly because we are maximizing the remonetization. And also the provision because we want to have capture more risk in the year to go. I can show you the best calculation to explain. So for T05, as you can see, we are return is almost the same. And then remonetization, we are decreasing outlet because we just reconcile the remonetization P&L with each division. So we don't have like a lot of PA to maximize outlet. So it's in line with the division outlet P&L. And also feminine sales, as we did the first feminine sales in HS1, which is 0.3. So based on the result, we reflected 0.9 in the full year. And also liquidation plan added. So we are keeping 6.4 billion in remonetization. And then destruction is keeping the same as target. And so stock quality, as explained, 84%. So in summary.
Sorry, if I may, if I look on the numbers between last year and this year, I mean, you have a huge increase on the remonetization, right? We are going plus 35%. We are sure that we can do it because it's quite a big increase, no? I mean, it's great. I mean, super that you want to do it, but it's quite, I think it will be quite challenging, right? That's, I'm wondering if there is no risk there because it's quite a big difference between 2 years.
Why you put so many
and the clearance
donations?
is the biggest, right? The clearance, you are doubling.
It's because last year we did the big donation in December, so it's the numbers are included in 0.6 billion. So here it's like 2.1, and then we need to deduct the 0.6 here. Yeah, so 2.6.
Okay, the gap is not so big. I understand. Okay.
Moving on to its division.
And here is the detail of LuxFed stock allocation. To briefly, our total E&O cost in P&L is minus 1 billion. I pre-aligned with the Lux controlling manager for it, and the details are breakdown as below for each lines. I will check the first one is return. So division only check with each brand. We have an increase of return compared to last year due to closing plan in department store offline, especially coming from Biothem. And we also increase of plus 29% of remonetization plan, as Minji already explained. Almost 600 million won is coming from last year for donation. And then we will maximize our liquidation and donation planning this year because we have only limited PA budget for outlet and family sales for management strictly P&L line. And then destruction, we will keep minus 31% versus last year. And there is a provision is there is a quite challenging, as I mentioned, because we have a lot of slow movers, especially stick from PL and Biothem and Armani for the cushion case only. So it's quite challenging, but we will have a strong depletion plan to last this year. Yeah, this is the end.
Question, sorry, on liquidation, so maybe you, I mean, I didn't understood on liquidation, we are increasing by, I mean, 5 times, nearly. How you want to liquidate more? What will be the process that you are able to do it?
We already started to discuss by clearance channel for on the list. It called in Hong Kong company, it based on Hong Kong. So we are negotiating the details for each brand using this clearance website.
Have you ever heard on the list? On the list is
yes, it's used by Hong Kong.
Yes.
Hong Kong. Yeah.
Helen, it's not liquidation, no? Because it's normal
liquidation.
It is website. It is an e-com website liquidation. It's on the list. The name is on the list. It's already used by Hong Kong Lux.
Yeah. So we check the law.
We can use it. Okay.
Yeah.
Use it.
Yeah, I'll change the line to clearance website after this meeting.
Okay.
And the return, understand that it increased by 18%. That's a lot versus last year. First of all, understand that this is due to the go-to-market change strategy, the distributor offline closure, right? But the stocks that returned, can they be resold? Are they of good quality, shelf life, etc.?
Yes. Over 90% of litter store are reused.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here, let's move on.
Here is the destruction statement for SRH Rule 5. Mainly, Lanko because related adenosine compliance issue in locally. So we already requested to ship back or by DMI charge, but it is not affected because it is only Korea specific issue.
So on top of 750 million won in the budget, cause we also can ask for the restatement, right? If there's any quality issue caused by MSL, then we may increase the because for the restatement. So this is a list of the items that we want to ask for the restatement. So it's something is really the production, the compliance issue.
Yeah, compliance issue and KL colonial, as you know, the quality issue to look at the block from global trade team. And then YSL Lucio measure this device is
벌써 넣었어 여기다가.
네, 넣어야겠는데. Helen, is it okay to contain the current Latino provision and destruction statement in T05, you mean?
Yeah.
Wait, first, P&L wise, have you put any credit note gains in
No,
your
not
25?
yet.
Not yet. Okay. Then second, we need to present all these this list to Jason Park. Thank you for summarizing this and identify them early enough. I think usually they discuss in the month of August, July, September for the bonus calculation. You know, last year we presented YSL quality issue together or affecting many markets. But this year maybe Qs will be a exception. For other cases, we need to discuss. Yeah.
I have a question because for me, sorry, again, we are not hearing you well. For compliance issue, what is exactly the issue? Because quite issue on Qs, we are fully aware, it's clear. And also on the glow pink, etc., that's clear. But for Genefix serum, what is the compliance issue? Can you please tell us?
In locally, we need to adenosine compliance should be over 90% in locally, but it contains only 78%. I didn't remember the exact number, but below our compliance, so we could not sell it.
So in
okay, meaning that the ingredient weight is too low in the formulation, so they are saying, versus the local requirement to claim.
Yes.
To claim the
accepted by L'Oréal norm, because they allow 20 plus minus 2%. There's tolerance, minus tolerance in L'Oréal standard. But when it comes to L'Oréal, when it comes to Korean regulation, there's no tolerance. We can be above, but we shouldn't be below. So every the product new batches, we have to go through all the test quality control, and this turned out to be non-sellable items. We try to make it like internal users sharing to employees, but our RA, they said we shouldn't. Otherwise, they may have in trouble. We'll be in trouble with the MFSD. So finally decided to destroy. However, DMI World Factory won't compensate because it's still within L'Oréal standard. So we have to we have to take all these costs by ourselves.
I have a question that in terms of our local marketing, they didn't know that there is a problem with the formulation versus Korean standards?
There's a lot of fights. There was a lot of fight between DMI and the RNI, also local RNI marketing. They said they cannot.
Because I said my point is rather when we are launching the item, they didn't check that the ingredient is not strong enough for the local.
I mean, they allow the minus tolerance. They can add less if it's within the tolerance. But Korea, we shouldn't. We always have to evolve.
Yes.
So we asked for the change in the specifications, production specifications, but they refused it. The DMI refused it last year, since
I
last year.
understand. No, I understand. My question is, after this refusal, we stopped procuring the item, and at all why we started to procure, knowing that there is this problem with the formulation. I just question, because it's a bit weird that marketing didn't talk to marketing, right?
So what happened is that before they send the goods, they share the result.
Yes,
And then they only ship the batch which is compliant to Korean market.
Yes. And after that, Genifique renovated in last year.
So this is before the renovation. Even after the renovation, we had the same issues.
Same issue, but MS already pre-checked with the demand planner and the marketing team. This batch is accepted or not. So yeah.
So we have pre-screening processes.
Understand. A question, Helen, did we ever, I don't know in the past if it was working or not, did we ever ship the goods between North Asia countries in such case? Because I don't know, maybe China can sell it. Did we ever did that?
It's rare, but it's doable. I think between Hong Kong and some other market, they are doing it. Just one-off, not regular.
Can we try? Maybe, Helen, maybe for us in terms of L'Oréal for the future, if there's a good item which is laying around in Korea, but there's no problem for other markets, why not to try to sell it somewhere else? You know, I know it will be not easy, but maybe we can do a clear kind of like a zone supply chain clearance between the countries. I don't know.
That would be great. Just for your info, one of these two items, Genifique, we don't have carton box because the item, the bottle is in the cofre.
Yes, so in the cofre beauty box. So
the beauty box, so
there doesn't
I understand, but what we can do if there is no tax or finance constraints to do the flow, we can take the list from Korea, from Japan, from whoever, and then try to share it, saying, guys, let's help each other, right?
Yeah, that's good. We'll share the detail, whether it's a local labeled, whether it has the carton.
Yeah. And then, if Helen Jason can help because he's pushing to reduce the destruction, let's try to help it like this also. Why not?
But for your information, Jakub, the second one, sensitive, will be close to expiry date by end of this year. And me and our DP demand planner already several check with the other API markets too. Several times. Yeah. So
no, I understand, but then this we can align the details offline. But for me, we still should try. Again, maybe it will be vice versa, that China has something which you can sell, but they cannot. Let's see how we can support each other.
And at the time, I don't know whether now Slavi was in charge of.
Yes. Yeah.
So we also asked him to coordinate the shipment times between the market, but finally we couldn't make it. But we can do the.
No, we need to do it by ourselves, and June. To be honest, I never got support from the global teams, but inside the zone, we were able to do it in the past. So I never heard that in North Asia it was done. Maybe we can try at least once. Let's see, couple of items and share between the markets. Why to destroy?
Yeah. And then also we have a big concern about the YSL device. So actually the value is huge. The unit is only small, but
the value is very huge. And the problem is that we sent the order book in 2022, but we got a product in 2024 last year. And then at the same time, we got the cartridge global discontinuation informed from MSL at the same time. The device
even we want to keep this as a catalog. The cartridge has discontinued, so there's no way but destruction only. So this is also we ask for.
But this you can give to employees. It's 600 pieces, right? One piece for everyone, and we are happy. As a gift.
Cartridge. There's no cartridge. There's no cartridge. There's the machine only.
I just wondering, maybe there's some countries which have cartridges, but not the machine. I don't know. We need to check. It's silly. I don't know how the global teams are managing. It's crazy. Come on, it's like. Okay. We'll try to work with Helen to see what we can do between us as a North Asia, because I think it's a small opportunity there. Let's see.
I'm not sure.
You want to see
LLD focus accuracy by line and MN3?
I mean, we don't have to go through it unless you have a particular point, because I think that every month now I need to report also the performance of every country, every brand with the split. If you have anything particular, I don't think so. No, it's okay. It's okay.
Thank you. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Super, thanks.
Okay, so for PPD, the bad stock ending as of December, we increased 142 Korean million won versus T03 because I reflected the liability stock from Korea IDC, which will be received in during the Q3. So for the remonetization, the total amount is 617 billion Korean won. Actually, already Minji mentioned, we reflected the actual sales for the outlet and family sales. So we dropped the 190 million won for the outlet and family sales budget. And I kept the donation and SRB, the free box, the budget, same as the T03, because we needed to deplete the liability stock from the Korean IDC. So because of that, our variance provision is the increase. So increase like a minus 57.6 million won versus last trend. Yeah.
Very clear. I think is the, oh, sorry.
What is this reinvoicing? Up 49 million.
For the reinvoicing, actually, it's from the L'Oréal Paris. We have some liability stock as well for the L'Oréal Paris in China. So, but the pieces are already like close to the expiry dates. So now we are doing making a depletion plan in locally. But anyhow, the products are a little bit old for our market. So we just put So I just
need to
discuss with
destroy at the factory.
at the factory. I discussed with the division controller, so we reflected the risk in this line. Yeah.
I think LDB is the QI is very good.
Not really, but
Anything you want to highlight?
Well, yeah, we have a good value. So if you have any question, you can ask me.
Just looking for the numbers. What is the main reason? Sorry, wanted to ask you on the slow-moving ending, because you have, I mean, you are doing well in terms of turnover, all is good. But if you look on the evolution between your last year slow-moving ending budget and then now year-to-date April and trend, you have a huge evolution here. What is happening? Why?
Well, we have that stock buildup because of IDC closure in June to July from Leo project for LDB. So stock value and total primarily caused by this. So yeah, you can see our April best stock is actually landed already 827 million. So we are projecting to see this best stock.
I assume that you bought a good stock, right? You didn't buy something which you don't need because you are selling all is good. Saying this, how come you are not able to get back to the budget value? There's something else happening. Why you are increasing by 100 million extra? I understand that you build up the stock, fine, but you get the normal supply in the Q3 and Q4. Saying this, you should deplete that stock. Why you have such a big increase?
Well, considering our division rapid growth and remaining our potential within our YTG sales, I think this 441 million is appropriate to support our business growth. So maybe, yes, if we are comparing the value with the 24, yes, it's high.
No,
but
I disagree. I disagree because if you are having a good business, slots shouldn't go up. I understand that you have a more stock. I understand that, and I'm very happy to increase the stocks if the business is going up. But slow moving naturally, the quality of stock which you have is quite good. Why we should increase the level of slow movers? Why we should deteriorate? There's no reason. You are doing a good job. Why you want to deteriorate?
We also see some risk on with the Odess go live in November. So we still have a high stock value until October to November. And so we yeah, we estimate this, the right
Hey,
value.
but you have a high stock on the good items. You should have on slow movers. I don't understand slow mover increase. I'm not saying stock increase. I'm saying slow mover increase. The value of slow mover is very high.
It's
With a
not
good forecast
really
sales.
high amount, just, we can reduce this, just to put some buffer in case we may face a higher stock than expected. Because I think you can adjust to the budget level, no problem. Budget level meaning that the letter value, the QI at 94%. 92.
Yeah, probably it will change. Yes, you have 94% of QI, and that's okay. But don't drop. I mean, like, I don't think. I mean, again, in this division, everything is good. So why we should have a risk? I don't think it's necessary. I think it's more mechanical number which you put, not the real calculation. It's okay. It's like why to deteriorate here?
Yeah, so based on our stock equation result, we can just 1% up and down is no difficulties. So
Our actual number in 24 is actually, it was too good. Yeah.
Good. Just we wanted to reflect some of the YTD, right? YTD number at 90%.
Yeah, YTD I understand, and this I understand. YTD I understand.
Okay, so
Okay.
we will update.
Super, thank you.
Yes, moving to the PPD. Sorry. Yes, moving to the PPD. The most of the indicators are in line with the TO3, but the better stock ending is a little bit increased, as I mentioned in the previous page. The 10 million won due to the ORS impact, and the remonetization is plus the 26% versus the last year, due to the increment in the family sales and the outlet. And the return is almost the same with the TO3, but there is a channel swing between the B2B to the D2C. And the QI is 91%, and the variance of provision is 9 million won plus gain, plus 3.8 million won versus last year.
Okay, that's clear. PPD is fine.
Thank you.
This one you already saw. We are keeping the distortion value flat.
In case 09.
Yeah.
And 05.
I think that's it. We are keeping the CapEx same as T03 as well. So yeah, that's it for.
Okay, any additional point you want to?
No, for me, just let's make sure that on other side we are covering, because there can be some extra costs, but you already prepared, so let's make sure that this is okay. I think on the stock levels, again, I don't know yet. I will maybe get back to you to ask a bit to reduce the value. I don't know yet. I'm saying we are discussing with the global. We don't know how is the big push, but maybe there will be some direction to reduce further the stocks. We'll come back, as I say, because this is difficult to assess now. And also we will do soon kind of workshop discussions concerning the stock strategy, the way how our planning teams across the zone are managing that, to have a clear frame. Nothing to do for you yet, but we will try to see how we can support to have a one frame. And the last point, what we discuss is about the exchange of the yenos. Maybe we can do something as a zone to improve the situation, let's say, between the countries, if there's something which we can sell in other markets and vice versa. Okay.
The last point, thank you. The last point, can we have systematic approach to exchange slopes each market?
Yes, I want to have it. For me, it's not a good practice that we don't have. So I need to check with Helen. For me, the first question is if financially we can do it, if there's no blocking point from finance standpoint. For example, if I will tell you the system which I built in other zone was working in this way, that the country which was buying was responsible to pay the same price as at which they can buy from, let's say, Europe plus transportation. This was the rule. But then with some CFOs, there was a problem because they wanted to make certain margins. I need to check the financial flow. But normally it should be very fixed rule. We have the list of yenos. countries are exchanging between the supply chain directors, saying, okay, I have this, you have that. Can we exchange? And then on the fixed financial frame, we're doing that swap, you know. But let us work on it.
Our challenge in North Asia, we always have to put the labels on the products on primary and secondary. So we have to, we have to make the late differentiation. We hold the labeling until the other countries are purchased. So if it's done very systematic way, it will really help, especially for makeup. And also Japan, they don't have a remaining shelf life constraint. So, and also the other market, they have also remaining shelf life constraint. So if there's any,
no, we need to see. It will be not easy, but we need to figure out something. Maybe there will be PLV. I mean, we need to check. We need to check. But I would like to have this flow that internally we can also support each other. Why not? We are all having heavy Lux. Is the Lux division is heavy in North Asia. More or less, we have the same catalog for face care. Why not to exchange? There should be something.
We are quite reluctant. Actually, demand planners are quite reluctant to purchase from other market than MSL or DMI SNOP because the process is quite complex compared to normal. If I can purchase from DMI or factory, why not? I have to purchase from Japan and China. So I think we need some can I say some push from the zone to start in between.
Yeah, agree. Sorry, we need to have an answer the finance flow question because it's not always easy. I don't know what Pietro will say to us. We'll try to work with Jason on that, Jason Park on it. And then after that, if it's clarified and we know how we can work, we'll try to figure out how we can exchange communication between us that every country knows what is available. Kind of have like a market with the SKUs which are there to be shared.
Okay, thank you very much.
No, let's see. I hope we can help. Okay. Great. Thank you so much. We have 8 minutes before the end of the time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
이거 꺼주세요. 수고하셨습니다.